Hey, let me see the keys. Grab light out the trunk.
Real BB, stupid man. You know?
You get trophy like that, man. It's like that bit like a baby.
Thoughts on him? Like, did you know him?
Who that?
Did you know him before? Like everything?
Like that. I don't know. Okay. All I know, don't say that shit about Troy or rest in peace. Duck. Okay, so you got anything about FBG Duck? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't say shit about Troy. That's it. Don't say shit about Troy. Get that guy over there. Whatever, you know me. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know I know that. Stop playing. Stop playing. Don't do that. Stop playing. Talk to somebody else today.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here. We are here today to announce charges in a federal indictment that was unsealed this morning, which charged 5 individuals with federal crimes relating to the August 4th, 2020 murder of Chicago rapper Carlton Weekly, who's also known as FBG Duck. Charges also relate to the shooting of 2 other individuals during that same attack. The indictment charges 5 individuals with an offense that's known as violent crime and aid of racketeering offenses, which is commonly known as VICAR. The 5 individuals charged are Charles Liggins, Kenneth Roberson, DeCarlos Offord, Christopher Thomas, and Marcus Smart. And more specifically, that indictment alleges that these 5 individuals were members or associates of the O Block Street Gang, which is the racketeering enterprise that's alleged in the indictment. And the indictment further alleges that these individuals murdered Mr. Weekly as part of their effort to maintain or increase their position in the O Block. The indictment also alleges that the O Block Street Gang sought to promote and enhance the enterprise and the enterprise's members and associates' activities in various ways, to include publicly claiming responsibility for acts of violence committed by the enterprise, taunting rival gang members, and also alleges that the O Block enterprise sought to increase its status through the use of social media platforms and music. In addition to this, the first count, which involves the murder, the indictment also charges the defendants with conspiracy to commit that murder, various assault offenses related to the same shooting incident, as well as firearms offenses related to discharging those firearms during and in relation to those federal crimes of violence. I would like to thank our law enforcement partners for their outstanding work that allowed us to bring these charges, most notably the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Chicago Police Department. Outstanding work by these individuals. We also received important assistance from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office in this case. But generally speaking, what's happening on social media and what's happening in music videos that are on YouTube, particularly in the drill rap genre, it shows you what's happening in this city. It shows you exactly what's happening in the city, which is that people are threatening to commit acts of violence and then either bragging about acts of violence or talking about how they're going to retaliate for other acts of violence. And it's happening on a regular basis. And so, again, that is why it is significant that, as law enforcement, we're able to investigate and then ultimately hold people accountable for their acts they're committing. But for instance, you can go on the internet right now, you can see people in music videos, guns all over the place, talking about who they've shot or who they're going to shoot. So it can become, for cases, it can become evidence that we gather during the course of the case. But to kind of take the last 2 questions and kind of put them together, which I think might be a good way to sum up, right? So whenever you arrest gang members, there's always a risk that you create a vacuum, right? And that's what, law enforcement, our first responders, our police officer and our federal agents, they are zeroed in on that, and they are trying to figure out, okay, where might the vacuum come, where might the retaliation come, and what can we do to try and prevent that. But here's the other thing that a case like this does. There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago, okay? And now it's known to them, and it's known to anybody else who might be committing similar acts of brazen violence, right? And who may, that their day has come. They have been, they will have their day in court, they are presumed innocent, but their day has come, and, you know, and there's a long, again, if we're able to prove them guilty.
Alan, tonight federal law enforcement officials say they are charging 5 Chicago street gang operatives with racketeering in the 2020 Oak Street hit on Carlton Weekly. The rapper, known as FBG Duck, was said to be shopping for a birthday present for his son when he was cut down in a mob-style attack. And now the feds are using a law first aimed at mobsters to prosecute the 5. On August 4th, 2020, it looked like an old-time outfit attack here on Chicago's Oak Street. 2 attack cars, 4 shooters, and a hail of bullets. But the target wasn't a 1930s gangster. He was a new millennium rapper, FBG Duck. Investigators say he was a gang member whose videos had irked members of a rival gang, 5 of whom tonight stand charged with his killing under the RICO statute, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, that in 1970 was created to help dismantle traditional organized crime, aka the mob.
The reason why it's charged federally is because we were able to establish evidence to indicate that there was a racketeering enterprise here that was involved, and this murder was done in furtherance of that.
We are going after gangs in this city. This includes gang investigations, narcotics investigations, and gun investigations. We are working together to hold gang members accountable for violence.
Late this afternoon, the I-Team talking with Chicago criminal defense attorney Tony Thedford about what he says is one of the most powerful tools prosecutors have.
You have a street gang, alleged street gang, that kills another gang member in a high-profile case in downtown Chicago. So my belief is that the response is the harshest response possible once they find suspects and charge them.
And he says the evidence sometimes is gathered right from social media.
There's a lot of allegations of back and forth online, or threats online, or videos posted back and forth that then led to retaliation, allegedly, which led to the death of this young man who was killed. And they are very strong tools that are now being used by law enforcement and the government to prosecute crime.
Thedford says for the government, one benefit of a racketeering conspiracy case is that prosecutors don't have to prove each and every individual act. They must only prove defendants' participation in the organization. In this RICO case, a street gang that allegedly gunned down a rival and a rapper in one of Chicago's most exclusive shopping districts.